Energy prices are dominating headlines again. Rising oil costs from tensions in the Middle East are hitting Filipino households and businesses hard. And that pressure is now spilling over into electricity bills. Today, we sit down with Pete Ilagan, president of NASECOR, the country's watchdog for electricity consumers, to unpack how global events affect local energy costs, the government's policy options, and what consumers and businesses need to know to navigate this volatile market. Good afternoon, Pete. Welcome to the show.
Good afternoon, Robert, and thank you for inviting us to your show.
Thanks for joining us. Now, Pete, Middle East tensions, they're driving oil prices up again. Now, are Filipino consumers essentially at the mercy ng global events?
Well, to understand better the impact of these oil price increases, we have to look at our power mix. We have to understand that itong ating oil-based plants accounts for only 7% ng total generation capacity in the country. Dahil most of our generation plants, our electricity rather, come from coal-based plants and other sources. So maliit na porsyento lamang 7. Ang mahirap dito, kung ang presyong ito ay mananatili, magtagal, talagang apektado ang transport and logistic business at saka ang food prices. Yan ang nakakatakot.
Pag magkaroon ng spike po sa crude oil, over $80 to $100 per barrel, how quickly ito mararamdaman ng households and businesses, yung impact on their wallets and their businesses?
Well, very quick. In a week or two, makikita agad dito sa pump prices. Dahil sa itong ating mga oil companies, they adjust their prices regularly based on international standards. So mabilis ito.
Now, at sa anong punto po, what point does the rise in oil prices today stop being a market fluctuation but become a broader economic threat for the Philippines?
Well, kailangan kumilos agad ng gobyerno. So maganda itong proposal nila to reduce the excise or suspend the excise tax dahil it will provide immediate relief sa consumers. Madadama agad natin ito, although this is on a short-term basis lamang. The long-term option is talagang to strengthen energy security and diversify energy sources para maging less dependent tayo sa imported fuel.
How do you think we should do that?
Well, maganda ngayon, ang gobyerno ay nag-iisip ng mga bagong programa katulad ng nuclear power program, which is viewed as a long-term option, so we will be less dependent on imported fuels.
Now, many think yung pagtaas po ng oil, it affects gasoline only, pero it becomes a domino effect. Now, how can you explain to the normal everyday Filipino workers, mga small businesses natin dito, that how global crude oil prices eventually, creep in sa bills natin on a daily basis?
Yan ang kailangan maliwanagan natin. Na itong Middle East tension, hindi ganong kalakas ang impact sa presyo ng kuryente. Pero sa presyo ng transport and logistics at sa pagkain, malakas ito. However, if this situation persists, doon tayo dapat mabahala.
Now, Pete, you mentioned a while ago there has to be a good power mix. Now, how reliant are we today in the current power mix on imported fuel? Now, are we less vulnerable than we are a decade ago or the opposite?
Well, pasalamat tayo ngayon sapagkat ang ating renewable energy is expanding.
Yes.
Lalo sa solar at saka sa wind. Okay? At meron ng programa ang gobyerno dito sa nuclear power na tinitignan natin as a long-term option. Ito yung mga bagay-bagay that makes us reduce our dependence on imported fuel. Kaya after a decade, mas less vulnerable tayo on dependence sa ating imported fuel.
If we go that way.
Yes.
Now, if LNG imports tighten at kung yung output ng Malampaya ay mag-decline, could we see power red alerts again?
Usually, red alerts come in kapag ka-tighten ang reserve margin natin. Number one, pag pumapalya yung mga planta ng mga luma, yan, nagkakaroon ng red alerts. At katulad nitong situation na ito, pag nagmamahal ang presyo ng oil, dahil sa alam naman natin, ang purpose talaga sa power sector, ang oil ay ginagamit sa mga diesel plants which are used as reserve plants. At saka ginagamit ito sa mga islands. Kaya doon natin makikita yung kanyang impact. So, kailangan lang talaga na ang gobyerno ay magkaroon ng close monitoring at transparency dito sa pag-provide ng relief sa ating mga kababayan.
In your observation, Pete, sa NASECOR, sa mga research nyo at sa mga nakikita nyo sa nangyayari dito sa Pilipinas, are we ready sa mga ganitong klaseng global tensions in terms of, keeping our supplies intact in terms of power?
That's one of the concerns that the government must ensure. Yung adequate fuel supply natin, kailangan nandyan talaga yan. At yung ating dapat we should be consumed in expanding the renewable energy and thinking of strengthening yung energy security natin by diversifying energy sources which will reduce our dependence on imported fuels. Kailangan dun mag-focus ang gobyerno.
Pete, napag-usapan yung excise tax. If these are suspended, how much relief does that deliver per liter for the average driver?
Well, at the present tax structure natin, ang 10 piso para sa gasolina. Yung ating tax yan at 6 na piso sa diesel. Kaya kung masususpend ang implementation ng excise tax, mararamdaman agad ng consumers itong pagbawas that will translate to lower pump price.
So it's automatic when, let's say, if excise taxes are suspended, the gasoline companies will also pull down their prices? Is that automatic?
So, kasi yung component ng tax mawawala eh. So yung 10 at saka 6 pesos mawawala yan. So yun agad ang ating immediate relief. Although on a short term
Short
lang yan.
term. So ano yung long term na nakikita mo kailangan natin gawin talaga?
Yun ang sinasabi natin. Number 1 is strengthening energy security. By diversifying energy sources and reducing our dependence on imported fuel, fossil fuel, katulad nga ng expanding renewable energy, especially focusing on local domestic source of fuel, katulad ng ginagawa natin ngayon na patuloy ang ating discovery sa mga potential source of fuel. Kailangan hindi matigil yan Pares ng nuclear program natin ngayon, kailangan hindi matigil yan.
On the other side, Pete, kung masuspend yung excise tax, there's an argument that it's gonna create losses, economic losses for the government. But kung sakaling magkaroon ng suspension, how long do you think it should last?
Well, definitely, alam naman natin na malaking reduction ito sa revenues ng government kapag ito ay implement. Kaya on a short-term basis, kakayanan ito ng gobyerno natin to provide this immediate and temporary relief sa mga consumers natin. At kailangan talagang mailagay sa magandang palisiya kung paano natin ay address yung mga ganitong problema in the future. But right now, the government really must come in and cushion the household and the business sector from these increasing oil prices.
Now, will this temporary relief materially reduce inflation, or is it more symbolic in the face of a volatile global market?
Bottom line talaga is it's still the global energy price movement ang magdidictate ng presyo. Etong ating mga suspension, reduction sa excise tax, temporary relief ito. And the bigger problem talaga is yung dependence natin sa fossil fuel, and that can only be addressed by ensuring, or rather strengthening yung energy security natin by diversifying energy sources and reducing our dependence on imported fossil fuel.
But would an automatic trigger mechanism be more effective than a discretionary emergency power? Do you think?
These are both options. Kapag automatic trigger, alam natin predictable agad siya at mabilis. Mabilis siya kasi if it reaches a certain level, automatic papasok yung solusyon, yung temporary solution. Pero yung emergency powers naman, medyo magkakaroon ng diskarte ang gobyerno. Depende sa bigat ng problema.
Handa ba tayo sa fiscal impact if magkaroon nga ng suspension ng excise tax at syempre yung collections ng gobyerno ay bababa?
Well, alam nating masasaktan talaga tayo, pero kailangan It will justify reducing the cost of price sa pump, di ba? Kasi kailangan talaga. At habang meron tayong temporary solution, the better solution talaga is strengthening energy security.
Based on your observation, Pete, with NASICOR, pag nakikipag-usap kayo sa ating mga manggagawa, sa mga drivers, talagang umaaray na ba?
Bawat taas ng presyo sa oil ay masakit sa mga wage earners, lalo na sa mga drivers, sa transport sector, sa logistic, which will translate to increase in the food prices natin, product prices.
Domino effect. Yes.
Kaya hindi lang silang apektado, buong bansa apektado tayo nito.
Now, looking at this further, Pete, now some argue moves like this risk becoming political theater. Now, how can policymakers ensure this actually benefits consumers kung sakaling mangyari to at ma-implement?
Dito kailangan talaga ang seryosong pagpapakita ng maliwanag ang nangyayari. There should be transparency and close monitoring, at yung tinatawag nating temporary relief should actually translate to lower prices. Yun ang kailangan talaga. Makita ng mga tao na nakikinabang sila dito sa desisyon ng government ng pagpapaba ng presyo ng kuryente. Dapat ma-feel, maramdaman ng mga tao yung pakinabang.
Now, Pete, you've been with NASICOR for more than 20 years and you've long challenged rate adjustments by Meralco before the Energy Regulatory Commission. Now, should regulators be stricter during global crises?
Not only during global crises, at all times, they should be particularly vigilant in ensuring that rates are just and reasonable. And these legitimate costs are the only costs that should be passable to the consumers.
Because many argue, lalo na yung mga small businesses natin dito, and it's also a barrier to entry for foreign investors who want to come and do business here. So what do you think? What kind of policies should be made?
Number one talaga is transparency and accountability. Like in the implementation of the competitive selection process, kailangan talaga maipakita nila ang kaliwanagan ng competitive selection process, that there is a level playing field for everyone. If they cannot establish that level playing field, walang negosyanteng mag-i-invest dito dahil alam lang kontrolado ng mga nagkokontrol ngayon ng sektor ng kuryente.
Now, you've been looking at this industry for a long time. What would be your best advice to the government right now on how they should tackle this crisis?
Kailangan talaga yung commitment sa public service. Kailangan mangibabaw yung commitment sa serbisyo publiko bago yung serbisyo sa pangsarili. Kailangan mauna yung serbisyo publiko. At dapat maging uncompromising pagdating sa pag-uphold ng consumer interest or public interest. Kailangan no question on that. Ang compromising dapat. Once you compromise, wala na. Tapos na ang prinsipyo ng isang tao kapag nag-compromise ka na.
And finally, Pete, anong pwede natin mabigay na advice sa mga ordinary Filipino workers, mga drivers, mga small businesses on how they can navigate itong crisis na to and how they can leverage on other things para hindi sila maipit?
Well, sa aking experience, kailangan ng isang tao na unang-una tumindig sa katotohanan, tumindig sa kung ano ang tama, at hindi tayo dapat matakot. Wala tayong dapat katakutan sapagkat pare-pares lang tayong may buhay. Diba? Ipaglaban natin yung ating karapatan. Huwag tayong matakot.
Well, nababanggit naman nila ang Pilipinas ay very resilient. The Filipinos are, pero minsan nakakapagod na rin yung iba na naririnig ng resilience. So we need to move forward.
And finally, huwag tayong magkulang ng pananampalataya sa ating Panginoon Diyos.
But kailangan naman natin ng optimism that hopefully this will pan out in the next, let's say, coming days or weeks.
Yeah,
kayo ba optimistic kayo?
We have to be constructive even in our critique of the policies. No? Kailangan constructive tayo. Hindi tayo destructive, hindi tayo accusatory. Kailangang maging positive yung ating outlook, pirme, na tayo ay nakikipag-isa sa paghangad na magkaroon ng isang solusyon na matatanggap at magkakaroon ng pakinabang para sa lahat.
Okay, on that note, Pete, thank you very much for joining us this afternoon, sharing your insights, and hopefully magkaroon tayo ng magandang policies to look forward para ma-mitigate natin yung mga problemang kinakaharap ng ating mga ordinaryong manggagawa and ang mga maliliit na businesses dito sa Pilipinas. Thank you. Thank you, Pete.
Yan ang kailangan natin. Thank you, Robert.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll take a short break. This is Business Brief.